when trying to add features, custom actions, and maybe tweak the look and feel of a page without going against the governance within an environment, power users have gone since SharePoint 2007 to the content editor. The content editor web part was originally designed solely for adding HTML to a web part page. Now with wiki pages, that's not such an important feature, but what it's used for now is to be able to create inline styles with CSS. Also, you're able to make reference to a JavaScript file that's stored in a central location, and that way you can customize content, maybe even add headers, add some richness to the look and feel of the page. And of course, I have to mention it, and it's seen on this page, you can hide the quick launch, the left navigation, if you don't want to use it without creating a page layout. Now be careful, if you do this and your site doesn't run fast enough, the left navigation will show and then hide. But that's okay, it'll give you more room on the page without hiding the global navigation. Brand new to SharePoint 2013 is an amazing web part called the Content Search web part. This web part replaces the Content Query web part. Just to refresh your memory, in the Content Query web part you could do some nice queries and lookups of different content types across the site collection, but if you wanted to do styling, you'd have to go into a central location, which might be overridden when you upgrade your site. So, instead of having to jump through all of those hoops, now you have a single place to be able to build a query that is able and available across anywhere that the search crawls. So that could be across different farms if you have that many places to look. And also now it goes across lists, libraries, and site information, where the Content Query web part only could do list information. Of course, like most things Microsoft, there is a query wizard with an instant preview. So you don't really need to know what everything means in this list of refiners. It is helpful, of course. It's not truly no code, but you can test and experiment before displaying your results on a page. And I know many companies don't want to hear this, but this great web part replaces a lot of different roll-up add-ons from third parties. So it's a very powerful tool to use. Let's examine both of these advanced web parts. Here we have a wiki page created in the Site Pages library so that we can explore the Content Editor web part. Let's add it to the page. Hidden in the Media and Content category, the Content Editor is the first web part to choose, and let's add. Here we have to still edit the web part, and now we have two choices. First, let's take a look on the right in the editing pane. You can see in the top that there are no views like there is in a list or a library. Here you could use a URL to a specific JavaScript or other type of code that you want the content editor to display. If we look through the other editing profiles, we'll see same exact features that we do on any other list or library. One thing to remember is if you are hiding code in this web part, you're probably going to want it hidden from view until you're editing the page. Let's do that. Let's also say this is going to be used to hide the quick launch. Alright, great. We'll press apply. Now the title has changed and you can see that it is a hidden web part. And now the other way to work with a content editor web part is to just type directly. And actually, the final way is to go up into the ribbon itself and edit the source, the HTML, behind the content editor. So here you can see the text that I typed directly into the content editor. This is the place where we can add inline styles. I've already saved the hide the quick launch style, and you can see it's style, and you can add any other HTML elements in here. If you have a designer on your team and want to add a stylized web part to a page, here you go. You can put it either directly in the page or have a little more control over it and put it within this content editor. Now, once I press OK, you'll see that the style is applied. No more quick launch. And if I press OK, you'll see no quick launch and no content editor. Hopefully now you can see how a content editor is able to add features directly onto any type of page, even though it was originally designed for a standard web part page. Now that we've used the content editor web part to change the look and feel of the advanced web parts page, it's time to add the content search web part to be able to roll up information from lists, libraries, and even sites across the site collection and beyond. Let's add the web part to the page. The content search web part is in the content rollup category and is the second item. Alright, now you can already see a nice look and feel, much further advanced than in the content query web part of old SharePoints. Also, you'll notice that the information showing is recently added information to the site. So SharePoint already starts with a preset query that you can work off of. Let's take a look at the editing pane. The editing pane is similar to all of the other ones that we've seen before. However, there is a specific properties and search query criteria section that is much different. You can see instantaneously that you can control the number of items to be shown. You can change the different control templates, my favorite being the slideshow. List with paging, you see the paging on top, or go back to the full list view. Also, you get a few different item styles, really mostly with picture, 2 lines. This is something that can be edited later, but let's just stick right out of the box. You also can manually control different property mappings beyond the ones that SharePoint has provided. Maybe we want to add a third line, and let's say created by. Also, you have other settings that are talking about the query results and how they're getting to the page. But where the real power is in the change query and being able to walk through the wizard that Microsoft provides. Here you can see that the wizard provides a quick result preview. Also, under Select a Query, you can see that what we were seeing was recently changed items. There are lots of other different items and starting queries that are available to you. The one that I wanted to show you, and I most commonly use, is items matching a content type. Here, when you see restrict by app, you can do it just for the current site, or my favorite, so you can go cross sites, is in the current site collection, or you could go even beyond and specify a URL if it's for a full web application. Go full hog and search anywhere the search can reach, but most of the time we're just going within the site collection. You can see that you can restrict by different tags. There is a feature to be able to use child navigation with the management in SharePoint 2013, but we haven't quite gotten there yet. But if you are using that, this query would pick directly the information off the page, or again, you can do connecting to tags that are on the page. Next, let's look at the refiners. And my favorite piece of this, if we scroll all the way down to the bottom, is the ability to look at different sites. So a lot of the times we'll use the project site because we've created project site templates, and this gives us a way to roll up information about that project site. You might have multiple communities, you might have blogs, or even just plain old regular sites. So let's just say project site, add it, and now we see that there's one project site underneath our current site. Okay, so that's not really beneficial in this case, but I think you get the picture. So let's just look at a few more. You can see that all I'm doing is adding and editing from one side to the next. So it's pretty good. Let's say the display author is me. Now we can see there are 203 results. What if we also wanted it to be a task? There we go. Now we have 16 results that the author is me and it's a task. We can also have different settings about the query rules, how to handle the URL. This is some pretty serious stuff. And of course you can test how the query will look. Or we could just press OK, press apply, and now we've gotten the new results. In this case, I'd either map to a fixed image, or I'd add a column to my content type so that I could get different images for the different list types. There you go. That's a quick overview of the content search and how anyone can walk through the wizard and create powerful searches across sites to pull information. This used to only be able to be accessed by third-party tools. Now we can do it right out of the box.